Hola amigos y amigas, what's up? You have tuned in to the English Made Simple show. This is episode number 243, number 243, número 203. Let's get straight into it, shall we? Welcome everybody, welcome back everybody. My name is Milena from EnglishMadeSimple.net, EnglishMadeSimple.net. I got back from my trip to New Zealand, went to visit my mom. I went sightseeing in New Zealand. How could you not go sightseeing when you are in New Zealand? Because the landscape is so beautiful. I forgot how beautiful it is in New Zealand. I've spent too long in Australia. So I am back to recording my episodes. Thanks for being patient, amigos y amigas. If you'd like to keep up to date with new episodes, go to EnglishMadeSimple.net, then scroll about halfway down the page and enter your name and email, and you will get notified when a new episode comes out. Cool bananas. Now, back to today. Now, I've been on a break since August or September, I forgot now. It's been a while. Before my break a few months ago, I sent out a very short survey to my email subscribers. If you are on my email list, if you receive emails from me, you would have received this short survey, okay? I like to send short surveys to ask you guys questions because I like to know what you guys think. It's a good way to collect feedback for me and to know if I'm on the right track, if I'm doing the right things with EMS. So inside this short survey in August, I think it was, I asked 5 questions. And I just want to say to all of you who have completed the survey, I know it's not comfortable to write in a language that's not your native language. So I'd like to say a huge thanks for doing that survey. I really appreciate it. Radio, the reason for doing the survey initially was to find out whether you guys read episode transcripts. Some of you know when I first started out, some of you remember when I first started out with English Made Simple 3 years ago, I used to have transcripts available on my website. But it wasn't very practical for some of you, so I've decided to offer transcripts into one document. All right? So you will find 50 plus episodes, episode transcripts in this one document. Just because the earlier transcripts, the earlier episodes, you can still find them on the English Made Simple website. But starting from episode 189 onwards, you'll be able to get transcripts when you download this one document at this link, EnglishMadeSimple.net/transcript. If you go on there, you'll be able to get the transcripts for these 50 plus episodes. I will also be adding this particular episode to the document as well as soon as possible. So keep your eyes opened. Now, going back to the short survey that I mentioned earlier in the episode, I'd like to share some things that people had to say in this survey. First of all, it was an interesting result of the survey. I had really good results. So out of 50 people who responded, half do read my transcripts and the other half say they don't read them. So, that's cool, no dramas. I was just wondering if anyone was reading them at all. So, it is a positive result, and it's interesting that it's a 50-50 split. And I really wasn't expecting that. All right, so for those who would like to have a copy of transcript document, which I have prepared recently for the 50 plus episodes, you can go to this website that I've just mentioned, EnglishMadeSimple.net/transcript. Cool bananas. Now, let me share the questions that I asked in this survey, okay? There were only 5 questions. And by the way, it was supposed to be an anonymous survey, but some of you were too excited to write their name as well. So I'll send a shout out to you just because you told me who you were. And I appreciate this, of course. No problems. So the questions I asked were, number 1, what is the one problem or main problem you're currently facing with English? Number 2, how do you like to learn if you wanted to have that problem fixed? Number 3, how much time would you invest in solving that problem that you have with English? And a bit about your background. Have you bought anything in the past to help you improve your English, such as an ebook, courses, or face-to-face lessons, and so on? So it was a multi-choice question, and you could also just, choose answers or write freely if you choose to do so. And the last question I had was related to the transcripts. The 5th question was, do you read episode transcripts? Just like that. And here are the answers from people who were kind enough to reply and participate. Yeah, so very interesting results. Let me just have a look here. I'm just going to summarize it. The majority of you said they forget words when they are trying to explain something. They forget to use modal verbs or struggle pronouncing verbs in the past tense. So that's very specific. And we did an episode about pronunciation, I think. If you go back into the earlier episodes, you'll be able to find something on pronunciation, by the way. Now, back to results. Someone said their vocabulary was very weak, or they lost touch with English since they didn't practice it for a long time. Yeah, that can happen. For some of you, it's to do with work, so English for work. So for people who run conference calls and meetings, so one particular person said they needed it for that, and they also needed to improve their speaking in that area. So I'm just summarizing as I'm looking at the results now. Someone said listening was a problem for them. Well, let me tell you, you're in the right place because you're listening to this podcast. So that's good. You're on the right track to improve your listening. There's also someone who said they lack confidence in speaking. This is a very common one. Very common issue to have. All right, speaking English for work, it seems to be a common theme. Someone is working as a waitress, someone who responded, and she needs to learn to make small talk with customers in English. And she gets tongue-tied, she gets stuck talking about things that are not relevant to her job. So things like, life, talking about life in general or entertainment, and she gets stuck when people ask her about that. And yes, I agree, this requires a lot of practice. I mean, making chit-chat or making small talk is definitely a skill. Another person mentioned they work as a pharmacist in Majorca, in Spain. Apparently, there are tourists there that visit this particular pharmacy, and this person said that English is required to speak with tourists. I'm glad you said you were at the pharmacy. I'm working on an ebook that is specifically for that. The ebook will be about what to say when visiting a pharmacy, what responses the pharmacist might give you, what do you also say when you're visiting a doctor or even a dentist. So yeah, keep your eyes and ears open if you're interested in learning more about the phrases at the pharmacy, what to say when you're at the pharmacy. Now, let me share a bit more. The survey findings are really interesting. Someone said they are unable to understand a fast-talking English speaker. Well, you're not alone. Me too. I can't understand a fast-talking English speaker. If it's on Netflix, if you are watching something and someone is talking really fast, I recommend you turn on the subtitles. And if it's in real life, just ask them to slow down. I have to ask them to slow down as well if they start talking really fast. A bit of a side note here. I just started watching the TV show called The Wire. And it's about the street gangs in Baltimore in the US, in the United States. So it's kind of like an old TV show. I think early 2000 used to be quite popular. And I just never watched it until now. And in this particular TV show, they talk really fast and they use slang. They use slang of that particular city. They use it a lot and I'm having trouble keeping up. So I just turn on the subtitles, you see? You can just turn the subtitles on. That'll save you. Right. Now, back to the results. We are almost there, amigos. Pronunciation and vocabulary, phrasal verbs, prepositions. When you are actually in a conversation, you are having trouble remembering these prepositions, when to use prepositions or when to use phrasal verbs. Right. Which is fair enough. Okay, moving right along. Someone mentioned that they are trying to learn English online, but they get inundated with so much information that is available online. And yes, it's easy to get lost in this sea of information and videos and everything else. So my advice is, if you get overwhelmed with so much information, is you must have a reason or a goal for learning a language. So you need to have a goal that will motivate you to keep learning. So this will help you to search for specific content online if you want to learn online. So you don't get stuck consuming content that is not relevant to you, okay, at that particular moment. So it's good to have a goal, all right? Remember that. The next question I had was, if I could fix your problem, how do you like to learn? How do you like to learn anything, okay? Or how do you like to learn English? So the top three answers I had was, people liked to learn by following an audiobook, by watching a video, and by having one-to-one lessons, like face-to-face lessons, or having like an email program to work directly with me. Great. And the majority of you said that you could spend 1 to 3 hours of your time on learning English, which is great. I think this is more than enough, really, because after 1 hour, your brain might get fried. Right. Everyone surveyed owns a grammar book. So that was one of the questions I had, is, have you ever bought anything to help you learn English? And the majority said they own a grammar book. They bought a grammar book. Yay! I also have a grammar book for Spanish. I opened it twice since I bought it a long time ago. And you really do need to motivate yourself to read those grammar books, right? And also some of you have taken online courses or have attended live in-person classes in your local country to learn English. Cool. And the last question I had in my little survey was whether or not you read EMS episode transcripts, and 50% said yes and 50% said no. So it's really split evenly, which I did not expect. Remember, if you want to access transcripts to 50 plus episodes of the show, please visit englishmadesimple.net/transcript. And just want to say thanks again to those who had the time to respond to the survey. Much appreciated. And just before we wrap up, lastly, some additional comments people said in the survey were something to do with the show. I've received a lot of kind and encouraging comments from everybody. People love the EMS podcast and they tell me they're learning a lot from the podcast. So that's basically in a nutshell. Especially William Paez. William Paez left his name in there. He says that he was especially excited about the EMS podcast because it's helping him learn English. This is how he's learning. So a huge shout out to William. Thanks, William. You rock. Sending you virtual high fives from Adelaide. All right, amigos y amigas, thank you for joining me in today's episode. Again, I'll just give you the link to the transcripts. If you are interested in downloading 50 plus episode transcripts, go to englishmadesimple.net/transcript. If you'd like to keep track of episodes via email, go to englishmadesimple.net and scroll all the way down and enter your name and email, and you'll start receiving emails about recent episodes. And that way you won't miss out on any new episodes that I release. Don't forget, you can still go to englishmadesimple.net/convo to get your free audiobook and get access to the 3-day mini email course. And finally, you've been an amazing audience and you've been jamming with Milena from English Made Simple. Until next time, hasta la próxima!